Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Everything Spice. My name is Tanya, and today we are making stuffed quahogs. Yeah! But unfortunately, I don't have any shells. So, I'm gonna do it the DIY way, and I'm gonna make my own. But for that, I'm gonna make the filling. So, stay tuned. All right, I'm back. So what we're gonna do is go over the ingredients for this. I got some garlic. And this is, as I've said, a method. So if you like garlic, you don't like garlic, you can take it, you can add it, use it, lose it, whatever you wanna do. I'm gonna use clam juice. This is, right, stuffed quahogs. You have to have clams with that, right? Clam juice. I have two, I don't have quahogs because it's not the season for it right now, or they're too expensive. So I'm gonna use whole baby clams, 2 cans of those. Any brand will do. I'm not endorsing anything, as you know. I have some red pepper flakes I'm gonna add to it, just for a little bit of spice. You don't have to use it, you know that. Chicken broth, any brand, any company. I have pepper strips. You should be able to get that at the local market. And of course, chorizo or chorico. I have some here, some that I ground up myself, which was a hot and a mild. But you can do mild or not at all, or if you don't have that in your area because it's pretty specific to this area, then basically what you could do is use sausage if you want in its place, or chorizo, which is not the same thing, right? This is a Portuguese sausage versus the Mexican or Spanish sausage. Different. I got onions, and I also have celery. The other thing that I do is I have bread. Now what I have is Portuguese bread, so I have about maybe 7 or 8 rolls of them, like the small rolls. And what I did was I added some milk to it. It's something that my mother did when she'd make stuffing, because this is basically a stuffing stuffed in a shell, right? I'm doing it Portuguese style. So I'm doing like Portuguese style stuffing stuffed in a shell. Now, as I mentioned, I don't have shells, but I did make my own DIY ones, and you can look it up online how to do it. You just stick it in a bowl, form it, and make shells. That's how I'm doing mine. You could certainly use shells if you wanted to. You don't have to do it that way, but I just don't have them, so that's why I'm not using them. So here we go. And this is how you make nice stuffing too as well. So let me put all my onions in, and I'm gonna saute that with the celery and the garlic. And then I'm gonna add my chorizo. And then I'm gonna show you on the other side what that all looks like before we stuff them. Stick with me, friends. All right, so come to the pot and see what I got here. Now this is what I got. This is the ground chorizo, both the one that was in the food processor that I ground myself, and this is also the one that I had in the package. I have a bag of mixed peppers, green and red. I have sauteed onions and some garlic. I put in some salt and pepper to taste, as well as some garlic powder as well. I know I have garlic in there, but you can never have enough. So this is what it looks like low and slow. It gives away a little bit of juices. You don't want to like brown it or crisp it. It's going to go into the mixture right here, which is my bread mixture that I soaked in milk. Push this all and put it all. It's heavy. Use your muscles. Or get somebody else to do it if you can't. Put it all in. All this is going in the pool. And because there's no egg in this yet, because there is going to go eggs, stuffing and eggs go together, I will add 1 egg once this whole mixture cools down. But what I'm going to do for now is, and this is going to be a lot of quahogs, stuffed quahogs. Okay, here we go. So what I got here, not going to rinse it out, not going to do anything like that. Nope, no I'm not. I'm going to add some oil to the pan, and I have like an extra virgin olive oil, but any oil will do. No specifics to this. Stay low with this because now we're going to do the bacon. And the bacon is going to go right on the top. Here's the bacon, and I'm going to use some cilantro as a finisher. Got the clams, as I mentioned, already ready to go, and I'm going to use some of the juice of it. And I'm going to just throw it in. Okay. What I'll do here is I'm going to render the fat. So low and slow in the pan. Maybe what I'll do is add some pepper to this because I like peppered bacon. And then render this fat, crisp it up. And this is gonna be the topper on top of the stuffed quahogs. So let me get that all crisped up. Let me take the leaves off the stems for the cilantro. I washed it, dried it, and now I'm going to chop it up, and this will be added as well at the end. So let me do that. And on the other side of this, we're gonna assemble everything that's gonna go into these stuffed quahogs. Stay tuned. All right, so here's what we got. I mixed all of the ingredients together. The chorizo is in here, all of the ingredients. The bread, let me show you. All of this is beautifully mixed, look. And I did the bacon. There it is, nice and crumbled. That's gonna go on top. And some of the grease, yes, I did put it inside. Yes, I did, okay? Not all of it, just some of it, but look at that beautiful mess, okay? Now, next step we got here. We have, instead of the red pepper flakes, I'm gonna make this Portuguese style, so I'm gonna put the hot chopped peppers. It's kind of known in this area. Crushed red pepper, they call it. And this is what it looks like. I'm gonna put maybe this much, depending on your taste for heat, because it said hot, right? I did say hot, I did mention that. So use it according to your taste. Now I already put pepper in here. I'm gonna put pepper in here. I might put a little bit of salt. I'm debating about it, so let me think about it, because there's a lot of salt that's in a lot of this. And then I have some chopped cilantro. I'll put that in a minute. But I drained, so you can see a little bit of the liquid. Some of it I had to drain out, which is the clams. Okay, if you can find some quahog, like cans of quahogs like this, that would be ideal too. But I only have clams, so I'm gonna put that in instead. So let me put that in. Putting all of it in, yes I am. Not one little clam is getting away from me. And then I'm gonna mix all of this together before I put the egg in, because I want it to cool a little bit, because some of that grease, the bacon fat, is making this a little warm. Never put egg in anything hot unless you temper it, which means you put a little bit of the mixture in with the hot liquid that you're using and stir it up, and then the egg gets used to the heat and it won't curdle on you or scramble on you. But in this situation, I'm just gonna let everything cool down, and then I'm gonna add my egg to this. So with the cold clams and the liquid I'm gonna put in as well, it sounds very moist already, so I might judge it according to that. Now, usually when I make a Portuguese stuffing, let me show you what I use. I usually use chicken broth, but usually use the chicken broth. But I'm not sure if I'm gonna use chicken broth today because it's very moist already. So this is part of cooking. You judge, you take away, you add to. If it doesn't work for you, you don't use it, right? So what I'm gonna use is clam juice, because it is stuffed quahogs. And there's clams in here. So what I'm gonna do is clam juice. So I don't think I'm gonna need at all the chicken broth. So I'm gonna shake it good, and then we're going to add it. And I'm gonna judge it according to what it actually needs. If it doesn't need a whole lot, then I'm not gonna use a whole lot, because I don't want it to be soupy. I want it to be moist. And you can hear it as I'm stirring it, that it is really moist. So I might not need all of this liquid from the clam juice, but I'm gonna gauge it, because these are gonna go get stuffed. You don't want it too wet where it's a soupish mess. You don't want that. I'm gonna put the cilantro in. That goes in now. And then I'm gonna add my egg to this. Okay, here we go. Good job. Looks good. It's looking really good, actually. That looks perfecto. Now let me bring you over here so you can see. Okay, here we go. Now look at this. See how it is? Let me get the camera better for you. See how, can you hear the moisture in this? So this is like perfect, just the way it is. I wouldn't add too much liquid to this because then it becomes a soupy mess. And you are scooping this into aluminum clamshells. So you don't want it to be like flowing over it, overflowing into the pan where it's gonna make a mess in your oven. So this looks like a perfect stuffing, and that's basically what it is. It's a stuffing. It's a quahog stuffing, or in our case, clams, because we don't have quahogs, but we won't say nothing, right? We're still gonna call it that. We're still gonna call it that. We're still gonna serve it like that. Last but not least, our egg. And yes, I just did that on the oven. Got a clean oven, hello. I ain't worried if you ain't. Now, let's mix that in. And this is the binder that makes the stuffing fluffy, makes it rise in the oven, makes it really tasty. I don't know what it is about it, but it's something that's really a necessary evil to have. Egg in your stuffing. Stir this up. I'm gonna let this mix in a bit more. And when I come back, I'm gonna show you how to stuff my aluminum shells. Now, if you wanted to, you could go to this website. It's named similar to a forest in Brazil. See that? I am not going to endorse it, but I am going to say that. And I'm sure if you look it up online, you're going to find out what that Brazilian forest's name is. And you can get clam shells. Now, I did buy them, but unfortunately they were so small. They were like for little clam casinos. So now I'm ordering the bigger ones, but it won't make it for this episode. So that's why I have to do DIY. But that's okay. That's okay. Sometimes we have to be like MacGyver, right? We just have an elastic and a piece of gum and we just create something amazing with that. So this is what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna stir this up and then I'm gonna fill my shells and let you see what it looks like, the finished quahogs, stuffed quahogs. Stay with me, my friends. We're almost at the home stretch here. All right, we're at the finale. The home stretch, as they say. Now I made these shells, made a bunch of them. I'm gonna stuff them. Let me show you what I'm gonna do. Here's the mixture. Looks pretty delicious and mixed, right? All right, I'm gonna put some in each one. A couple here. You're not gonna go too crazy. Do it enough that you don't want it to tip over. And you can make them less too. You don't have to make them as full as I'm making them. I'm gonna put a couple here. And these are my makeshift shells. You don't have to have it if you bought them online. They have them online in a few places if you look them up. It's an alternative to having shells that maybe it's the time of year where you can't get shells. So we're gonna put all these on like this, stuff them like this. And then what we do is we top them with some bacon, baby. You could put bacon, you could put cheese, you have other toppings, maybe some more onions if you wanted to, but this is what I'm using, which is a little bit of crisp on it, a little bit of bacon. And that is gonna be fabulous because it's gonna get even more crispier in the oven. So good. You could put some parsley, some cilantro on top of this. This is what I'm doing. I heated the oven for 350. I would check them 45 minutes, possibly half hour if you have a faster oven. Could be an hour if you have a slower oven. You want to crisp on them. Cool them down. Or, yeah, well, you can cool them down. You could put them away for the night and then tomorrow, because that's what I'm doing for the holiday. I'm going over to our relatives. So what we're going to do is I'm making these tonight. I'm gonna let them sit overnight in the refrigerator and then I'm going to reheat them at their house. So here we go. This is what they look like. They are beauteous. Look at that. And it's gonna be nice and golden brown. I'm gonna finish my shells up, make a few more, and then I will show you what it looks like on the other side when they're all finished. Stay with me. All right, so before I put them in the oven, I wanted you to see them, what they look like. Okay, I have about 12 of them for 6, and then the other 6. Look how pretty they look. They're going to be so delicious before they go into the oven. So we're going to do 350. We're going to check them after a half hour, turn them, put it in for maybe another half hour or 15 minutes, depending on how golden brown, how slow or fast your oven is. This is how they'll turn out. So let me show you what they look like on the other side. All right, here is the final reveal. Ta-da! Now what I did was chop some purple onion, and I put that on top of this one. So here it is. Those are the ones, nice and golden, toasty brown. It's about an hour on my oven, but like I said, if you have a slower oven, it might take longer. If you have a faster oven like convection, it might be shorter time. Just keep checking them, turn the pans. And here's the other one. This is more of the plain one. I do have some parsley on top, some green onion as well on top. And this is what they look like, my friends. Look at these beauties. So if you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and join me next time for Everything Spice. Be safe, everyone.